Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from empoweredcreator.com. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my main goal is to simplify everything. So if this sounds like your kind of content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment, share it, and just stick around. And with all that said, let's get into today's video. Today, we are going to talk about how to deal with all those what ifs while consciously manifesting. All those what ifs and doubts and fears that occasionally pop up into our mind and tell us all these wild stories and give us all these scenarios on why things cannot happen and what if this unfavorable thing happens or that unfavorable thing happens. What if I don't get my manifestation? What if I fail? What if it doesn't come in the way I want it to? What if it's so delayed? What if it takes months or years or I don't know what other unfavorable stories and scenarios, but you get the gist, and I'm sure you've dealt with it, and I've dealt with it. I deal with it occasionally. We all deal with it. To an extent, it's normal. It's very normal, and we all deal with it. So don't worry too much about that. But of course, when those what ifs pop up, they don't feel good. They ruin our mood. They ruin our state. They knock us off our desired state. They weigh us down. They fill us with doubts and fears and insecurities. So obviously we don't want to feel that way. So what are some ways to tackle that? Are there any ways to tackle that? Well, there are many ways, and today I wanted to talk about one method that I have personally applied to myself. I have found it very successful, very helpful, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So that method is actually mentioned in the book Psycho-Cybernetics, written by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And what the book says is when you're dealing with those what if scenarios that pop up in your head, all those wild, unfavorable stories, what you do is take a pause. When you become aware of them popping in, you stop, you take a pause, and you come up with an alternative what if that is actually positive, that actually serves you, that actually fits the story, the new story that you're telling, the new story that you're manifesting, and that's actually favorable to you and to your manifestation. So let's give an example. Let's say your thought is, oh my gosh, what if my manifestation doesn't happen? What if I don't get my manifestation? Okay, so you become aware, you've now become aware that you've had this thought, that you're having this what if in your mind that's troubling you. What you do is you stop, you take a pause, and you redirect your thoughts to another what if that is actually favorable. It can be its opposite, or it can be anything that's just favorable and just serves your story, your new story, your desirable story. In this example, what if I don't get my manifestation? Well, stop right there and ask yourself, what if I do get my manifestation? What happens then? You've just given your mind a cue to start thinking towards that direction, as opposed to the previous direction, which was not helpful to you, not serving you. And if you want to make this method even stronger, and I do that all the time, and it's helped me very, very much, you can come up with more than one alternative what ifs. Maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, however many you want. So in this example, what if I don't get my manifestation? Let's say, for example, it's a specific person manifestation. What if I don't get my manifestation? What if I don't get my SP? You stop, you pause, and you redirect your thoughts towards the alternative, which is something that serves you, something that's favorable to you. So then you start thinking, what if I do get my manifestation? What if I do get my SP? What if my SP only has eyes for me? What if they're about to text me right now? What if they can't stop thinking about me? What if they ask me on a date tomorrow? You get the gist. It can be anything, as long as it makes you feel good and it helps redirect your thoughts to something that's more favorable, something that suits you. And what happens as you do that is that you're actually start feeling into these new thoughts that you're having. What if I do get my manifestation? What if my SP loves me? What if they only have eyes for me? What if they can't stop thinking about me? And you start getting into the feeling, into the state of that. And you start feeling better. Your mood and your state starts stabilizing. And you start just feeling more optimistic and more grounded. And remembering that, yeah, you do actually have your manifestation. It's done and you can have it. It's absolutely possible for you. You just get into better states, better mental and emotional states is what happens. And the other thing that happens, which is also very cool, your mind starts giving you suggestions towards the new direction of your thoughts. It starts giving you cues of, oh yeah, what if this and what if that? And yeah, if that happens, what if that happens as well? What if that amazing and awesome thing happens as well? And before you know it, your thoughts start spiraling in a positive direction. Now, we talk a lot about negative spiraling, but actually there is such a thing as positive spiraling too. And you can bring that upon yourself on demand by just redirecting your thoughts into more positive, more favorable stories and states and outcomes and scenarios. If there is a scenario that's negative and yeah, what if whatever disaster strikes, well, there's also a positive scenario that is its alternative that you can actually direct your thoughts towards. And the other cool thing that happens along with your mood improving and alongside you getting into a better state and going back into a desirable state, you start training your brain towards thinking more favorably. Because what happens is our brains are sort of naturally inclined to think about the negative more. That's more pronounced in some people than others, but to an extent, we all have that. Because our brains are, or at least we have a part of our mind that is designed to protect us and to give us all the bad scenarios, to warn us from going into what it perceives as danger zones. So to an extent, we all think negatively. But what we can start doing is creating a new habit with training our minds into thinking in positive ways, into thinking in favorable ways, into thinking about the scenarios that we actually want to see manifest in our 3D reality. And that's a habit. That takes training, but it's totally doable, and you can cultivate that with your mind, with how you redirect your thoughts and where you redirect your thoughts. And so that method has the added bonus of helping in that department, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up here. I intend that this helped you in some way. I would love for you guys to try this method when you start being inundated by all those what ifs and all those fears and doubts. And I hope it helps you and you find it as useful as I have found it. Let me know what you think of it. And we're going to leave it here for today. Thank you, as always, for watching this channel and this content, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.